Hello, welcome to Alchemize Yourself Tarot. I was doing an energy check-in to see what the collective here, what are you attracting in? What is coming towards you in love? And what I'm getting here is many of you, not everybody who you attract can handle your light or meet you where you are at. When you start to really elevate and ascend and put a lot of work into yourself and feel really good and confident and at your A game, many times you evolve out of lower vibrational relationships. So what's happening is a dynamic plays out where the people that you're attracting tend to place you on a pedestal, or they tend to want what you have. They're drawn to your light, but they feel exposed or burned by it. They feel intimidated in a way, or it exposes their patterns, their wounds, the fact that they're not ready, that they are in transition. So you may feel very confident and ready to plant new seeds, but the challenge here is you're attracting in the unhealed version of people. It's like, so you may even see the potential in people, or people that want to get to where you are at, but see, it exposes the unhealed patterns within themselves. So they seek your healing, your validation. They may approach you from a place of attraction or superficiality, or what you can do for their ego, more than wanting to connect with you authentically on an emotional level. So they, after they get what they want, or once they follow through with connecting with you or engaging with this powerful part of you, it intimidates them. They start to shut down because they see where they are not ready to be where you're at. And sometimes you'll mirror too. You'll be triggered. Your own past patterns will start to resurface when you meet a new person. So it's like the healing process it's not linear. It's a constant wave, an up and down, a spiral. It's never fully completed, right? We're always kind of working on ourselves. But at a certain point, you become attractive because you're no longer seeking that external validation. So you're in that good place where you're ready to show up authentically in a relationship. The problem is that can be very triggering for people who have unhealed wounds, or pride and ego, or they're just wanting attention. A lot of times people want attention from being near you. They like how you make them feel. They're very attracted to you, but they come to you with, these unhealed emotional wounds or blockages. So it's very important that you use discernment, that you actually get to know somebody, you feel it out, you watch. Some of you are, you're being encouraged to not jump into connections where there's a lot of attraction, like that initial fire and heat, because you're going to feel very attracted to certain people because they're so attracted to you. But you could even be dealing with people that are emotionally blocked or emotionally codependent. It's like they're very good out in the world. They're very powerful when it comes to pride and ego and leadership. and follow through, taking action, but inside their kind of emotional mess, they're not really wanting to evaluate that side of themselves or the triggers, or maybe they've been in emotionally codependent relationships. Sometimes people will come off like they really match you when it comes to ambition, passion, desire, so there's that physical, fiery, passionate side is a match. But when it comes to like the emotional self-reflection and feeling, whether or not they want to be alone or not, there's like an emptiness when it comes to their emotions. And that's really common these days because, emotional, feminine type energies are not as valued societally, depending on society, your culture. Sometimes those things are not valued, so they get shut off. People don't feel the need to do that inner work. Or they're in partnerships where they don't necessarily value the emotional side. They haven't done that soul searching, right? 8 of Cups. I'm getting too that some of you are dealing with somebody that maybe had a very codependent or emotionally needy relationship in the past. So they're really attracted to your fire. You're tapping into that fire energy, that sun energy, active, assertive, right? You're confident. Queen of Wands is balanced between desire and emotion. They're not emotionally reactive. They've been able to balance that. Strong temperance energy. So that's what they like. But when it comes to showing up emotionally for you, they're not ready for that side, or I'm getting this person just as they like the attention of being in a connection, but they don't necessarily like the emotional connection. So they're feeling activated for sure, but this person could be in transition, not ready. They don't know what they want. Sometimes you're attracting a person that just doesn't know what they want yet. They like the attention, they want the validation, but they don't really know where they want to take things. So this definitely feels new. I'm getting that some of you are attracting multiple people possibly, and it's like you're going to have to really use your discernment about who you allow to get close to. You really have to pay attention more to their actions than what they say. Do they follow through? Do they shut down? Do they connect with you? Are they open? Because sometimes you'll find a lot of these people are very emotionally unavailable. They're shut down, they're blocked, or they're really hyper-focused on their past. They're not ready to move in and to the next level, to change. They're very stubborn in that way. So I'm going to go a layer deeper here. Yeah, you're ready to plant seeds. You're ready to make something happen. You're ready to make something grow, just in your life in general. And that's going to make you very attractive, especially to people that are ambitious or they want to level up. And it's just be very careful about where you plant your seeds, because many of you, you're ready for a new beginning. You've walked away from your past. You've done a lot of shadow work. And, the child represents feeling nude, renewal, new beginnings, a return to innocence, feeling really fresh and purified. So you're coming into this connection after doing the healing work, the shadow work, and being completely open to a new experience where but you're attracting, you don't want to attract people that take you backwards, that cause you to repeat a karmic pattern or get you back in to return, right? I'm not getting that a past person is returning. I'm getting more that the new energy is not able to keep up with where you're going. It's more of that kind of situation. But you definitely don't want to return to any past energy. The people attracted to this reading, you're attracting something new. You're ready for those new beginnings. And it's like, really? You're going to be like rolling your eyes. Really? Like same kinds of people. But that's part of it, is learning discernment. Knowing those red flags, those triggers, when you know that you're dealing with a similar kind of person. So this is going to be a good tool for you, a lesson for you. Yeah, so you're attracting in definitely commitment and stability. I'm also getting that you're going to be attracting in somebody that's already established. And that can be good, but it can also be bad, because when you're dealing with somebody that's very established, they're not ready to break their patterns yet. They're very stubborn. They're very set in their ways. So you're in like this fresh new energy, and they're set in their ways, and they're not ready to break out of that. They like it's like they've already found a formula for success, and they're not wanting to break that. So maybe they are ready for commitment and stability, but it's not from a place of renewed energy. It's what they're wanting to repeat. So you're attracting, and many of you do want, a home, a stability, commitment. So that's what you're wanting to plant your seed. That's where you are wanting to plant your seeds. But what happens is you may be attracting somebody that wants to stay in their comfort zone. And just because it's comfortable doesn't mean that it's renewed or fresh or a complete new beginning for you or them. So it's so important to not go back to a comfort zone, because sometimes patterns can be a comfort zone, even if they're toxic or not working for us. It doesn't have to even be toxic. It just has to do with not necessarily wanting to change. And I definitely don't like Six of Wands in the reverse. This is somebody that's really needy for attention. They like you to stroke their ego. That can be a danger zone, because whoever's coming in, they're not ready. They don't know what they want yet. And then they see you. They're attracted to you because maybe they want you to awaken them to a purpose. But you don't necessarily want somebody that you have to awaken to the purpose. You want somebody that's already purposeful. Their purpose might be something from the past, not building a new future with you. So let's see. They could be very indecisive. Yeah, very stubborn, set in their ways. But this is also somebody that's been through a lot. So they're very protective, but they can be a little overbearing too, right? Somebody that's established and not really wanting to change, they can come off as very successful, but then very rigid. And it's like you don't want to feel like somebody's overbearing, because then you'll have to dim your light. You'll actually feel a little stifled by a person like that, or controlled. So they like to have the upper hand, they like to have control, but they haven't really decided what they want. So it's interesting. It's like they like the control, they like their comfort zone, but they also, it's like they're scouting, right? They're scouting to see how you're going to show up, what you're going to do. Are you really this exciting new beginning, or just a way to feed their ego? And your challenge is going to be to not feed their ego, to continue to elevate, to continue to move that ladder forward into a new, healed version of yourself. Because, yeah, their energy, I don't like the Six of Wands in the reverse. They're very much in their ego. Their energy is they want to talk. They definitely want to communicate with you. So this person may actually be very open to communication. They like what you have to say. They're intellectually stimulated by you. Seven of Pentacles is also somebody that's already, like I said, they seem very established, very invested. But in the talking phase, a lot of times you're exchanging information on whether or not you want to invest. This person could also maybe withhold attention, test you a little bit, test your confidence, trigger you a little bit. So I'm definitely sensing a challenging situation where you may even feel tempted to repeat a pattern as well. Right? Dim your light. That's a common one. Don't dim your light for somebody. This could be a situation like this. If they are already established and very rigid or fixed, and if you're the more flexible, mutable one, it could cause you to, fluctuate emotionally, like get in your head. Because you'll recognize that this person's very charismatic, very attractive. They give you that tingling feeling. It's like they command a room. Like when they come into the room, they get attention, they get noticed. They have a very powerful persona, an aura. And they're very attracted to you as well. So you'll recognize this person. They'll immediately want to strike up a conversation. This is somebody that likes to talk. They may have air in their chart. But with the Seven of Swords, this person could be, I'm not getting a liar. I'm getting more of they're very strategic. They're very covert. They're going to be very chatty, very communicative, very stimulating. But it's like underneath it all, they like that comfort and security. And they may be very particular about who they make offers to. Everybody's kind of in on the dating game these days, So they're going to want to talk. They're going to want to get your number. They're immediately going to initiate communication. But the potential is there's like this fire and passion and awakening, but there's definitely an emotional, there's like an emotional disconnect here. Yeah, someone's very much focused on success, ambition, their career. You two may really stimulate each other when it comes to career and ambition, finances, like creative pursuits. This person, you give them a lot of new creative ideas. They like that, but they're not necessarily open to you, or maybe you're not even feeling that emotional when it comes to this person. This is like moving up the ladder, ascending, like with your resources, your ambitions, your creative pursuits. So it's like there's going to be a lot of communication here. And I think that's good. I think it's good for you to take the time to get to know this person. It's very passionate. It's very intriguing. I think there's going to be a lot of physical attraction, and there's also going to be a lot of intellectual stimulation. Because your advice is to maybe not take this person too seriously. right? Or to just take the time to get to know them. Don't try to rush things. Yeah, you could even argue. This person and you have like this tension. There may be disagreements. You may find out that you don't have a lot in common with this person too. Maybe you argue about things. But it's in a challenging way. It's like you work it out through your passion, your lust, and your desire, but intellectually, you may irritate each other at times. But it could be fun, right? Knight of Wands, Page of Swords, it's like the thing is you want to attract in people that are going to challenge you to move to the next level. You don't want people that are going to drag you down. This person doesn't know what they want, and that's good for you to know. That way you're not too heavily emotionally invested. I think it may actually be advice too to kind of play it level when it comes to your emotions. Don't get too emotionally attached to this person. And yeah, you could end up having like a little explosive argument or something. Or there's going to be a disagreement here, if not already. It's like a disagreement over your values, your views, your long-term goals. Because I'm getting that this person could maybe have fixed long-term goals that have to do with their ego. They might want a trophy partner. I'm also getting that with that Six of Wands in the reverse with King of Wands. This is somebody that likes the image of things. Yeah, that Moon energy. Ooh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of lust. You may actually be just wanting to explore the physical side of a relationship. So you're very attracted. You're also very attractive. So you're going to be attracting any sort of partner, basically. Most people are going to be attracted to you because you love yourself. You've had a glow up. You're very beautiful. And so you're going to attract, Queen of Wands will pretty much be everybody's type, or most people. You're going to be, most people are going to just find you attractive. Everybody has their type, but it's very lusty. And people want to be a past life connection, soul contract. Now, some of you, I don't like to promote the return of the ex, but your ex is definitely going to be attracted to you. But I think exes are going to play a role in this new dynamic as far as the past life influence, the influence of the past is going to be very significant with this person, and the way you play out relationship dynamics. I'm not getting that you're, attracting in your ex. Obviously your ex will probably have a renewed desire for you, but I'm also, could even be that this person, their ex, has like a renewed desire for them. But it's like that still has a heavy influence here. Past patterns with that Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. You may feel like you've known this person before. So there's that immediate attraction because it's like you feel like you've known them from somewhere. Something is very familiar about this person. And, without even digging to past life soulmate things, sometimes we feel drawn to people for, in an unexplainable way, just based on past people that we've been attracted to. Maybe this person, you two are each other's type. I'm getting that very strongly here. But this person could end up not knowing what to do with you, right? Not knowing. It's like this is somebody definitely wanting to expand. Echo of the Heart. They want to keep the momentum going. But they could still be needing to clean up things from their past, breaking contracts, old commitments, right? That could be really overbearing for them because they're excited about this connection with you, but their energy is like they're liking a lot of attention. This person may want a lot more attention than they let on. You know, they like you to talk to them. Ooh, which is weird, lack of closure. They feel ghosted. Getting this person will feel like you're ghosting them or giving them the silent treatment if you're not in constant communication. So some of you in the past, maybe you had people that ghosted you. You may have the opposite with this person. They're going to want constant communication. They're going to want to know what you're doing. They may not handle your silence because Six of Wands in the reverse is like that power dynamic of not giving somebody enough attention, somebody wanting more attention, wanting constant communication. Some of you like that, and they feel, or you feel really left out when you're not constantly talking. It's like they want to be in your head, because I'm getting more on their side. They want communication. So they may feel a certain way when you're being mysterious, or vice versa. You know, sometimes we expect a lot of talk, or when the talking stops, it feels like silent treatment, when really some people just have to take the time to breathe and go within. You know, I think this person has a lot more desire to stay in communication than you're even used to, especially if you're used to people that have shut you down or blocked you. It could feel like a heavy contrast in how you meet them. They're gonna immediately want to get your choice between two. This could be you may meet them through somebody else. You may meet them when they're still in transition from another relationship, is what I'm getting with this, because that Two of Swords, a choice between two people, they start talking to you before they've cleaned everything up with their ex. And see, that can be really tricky too, because you're meeting people. A lot of times when you're meeting and attracting in new people, you're meeting people and you don't know what kind of transition or transformation they are going through. So it could be that there's external factors. I'm definitely getting it with that. This person could already be established, married, or whatever, different levels of that. So it's like you start talking, you're very attractive, they want to get to know you before they're actually ready for any sort of commitment. So just be aware of that, because it could cause something explosive, especially if they're dealing with another person, because the potential is abundance, security. Also, this person could shut down or shut you out while dealing with another person. So if they go really quiet, it's because they're dealing with another person. That's going to be your red flag to say, oh, this person is definitely talking to somebody else or dealing with somebody else. Yeah, happy. You definitely feel very happy. But this is all about living in the moment, you know. And a lot of these third-party love triangle dynamics is, you know, you have the third party brings in all this happiness and new energy, and then there's all this karmic past energy still stuck. So the contrast is you make this person really happy and they're very attracted to you, but then it's like then there's this heavy energy in the background. So it could be turned into just like a connection based on lust, not love. Yeah, real love. Devoted, heart belongs to one. Because some of you you're wanting to manifest real love, something exclusive, somebody that's only devoted to you. I'm getting that they don't necessarily love their past person, but it doesn't negate the fact that they are committed, right? So your advice is to not take this person too seriously at this time. Not emotionally invest too soon, because you don't know. You don't want to get pulled into any sort of drama. And also, they could have an ex that watches them really closely. I've been getting that energy a lot too. Like exes that follow their partner or watch them, stalk them even. You know, there's a lot of resentment about their partner moving on, especially if they're the ex. So that can be the love triangle right there, is that loose end. Or if they're not married or something like that, they may have an ex that's still heavily attached to them. So grass is greener. You may decide that you want something better. Also, this is someone that's never satisfied. Oh, you don't want to deal with that, because Six of Wands in the reverse, this could be somebody that's just an energy vampire. It's never good enough. They're always wanting more. They're always wanting the next best thing. They get entangled or locked down with somebody, but then they're always looking for somebody else, and it's wishful thinking. This person could be very powerful at manifesting, getting what they want, but the wishful thinking could be that they actually want to make an offer of commitment, because this person's very passionate. They're very fiery. Could be very much in their ego, and that can distort their view of settling down. Yeah, bad news, sending wrong message, communication issues. Yeah, this there could be definitely a fight, a breakdown, power struggles. So what is your advice moving? Yeah, I would be very careful about getting emotionally attached to somebody that may just be using your light to boost their ego, their finances, their resources, or them getting over. Definitely be aware of rebound relationships as well, because sometimes people jump into a rebound and they're very flaky, right? They decide, oh, I just want to date. You know, it could be, and then that starts your karmic cycle all over, because you're having to heal again. You need to always be focused on positive changes in your life, what you want to get out of life. Not being concerned about what makes somebody else happy, or conforming to their standards, or competing for their affection. Sometimes people will triangulate you to get you to compete, to make themselves more valuable, so to speak, or desirable. I'm also getting that this person wants to feel desirable, so they constantly move from partner to partner to get people to compete for them. So that could be the bad news too. You realize what this is. It's not what you thought it was. So it could just be like a pre-warning if you're getting some of those red flags Accountability. Accountability begins with the willingness to look honestly at yourself without excuses, without ego. What you see may be uncomfortable, but it's very true. It's the very truth that will set you free. Yeah, it's important to be very accountable with yourself to see the truth. Don't get caught up in a fantasy. And don't move too quickly, especially when it comes to a physical connection. So accountability is about accountability for yourself, your own actions, your truth, using discernment. That will set you free. You won't allow other people to manipulate or control you. Cutting ties. Not all connections are meant to last. Some bonds become chains, holding you back from the life you are destined for. It's time to cut the ties that no longer serve you. You may end up cutting ties. Your accountability is you may have to cut ties with this person. You may have to be able to set them free. If they're not where you want to be or they're dragging you down, there's financial stress. Yeah, especially if there are prior commitments. This could set you back or be influencing somebody as well. So we'll wrap it up there. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I hope to see you again. I hope this reading gave you some helpful insight on how to deal with new connections or a particular connection that's coming in for you. Bye.